So this is Natasha and James from TLC. Hi. So sorry, I'm an opera singer too, so sorry. So I'm going to give you guys a couple questions. I'm going to do a little interview here. How did you guys meet?
Well, I like the introduction. My name is James, and I'm the husband of Natasha, and we met in Harlem at a Starbucks in New York City. I was working out there doing an internship while I was in school, and she was out there as well working. And so it all happened one day after work. I was on my way home, and I said, you know, I'm in New York City. I don't want to quite go home. I want to stay out and kind of experience the lifestyle. So I thought just to go into a Starbucks and get on my computer and maybe just Skype and talk, see my family who lives in Erie, Pennsylvania. And so when I walked in, I looked to the left and I seen this beautiful young woman in red. She caught my attention. And it was kind of packed in the Starbucks, as most probably Starbucks are. And but fortunately for me, I looked over to the left, and there was a seat that was open right next to her. And so I went over and I sat down, and I took my my computer out and set it up, and I got up out of my chair, and I walked over and plugged it into an outlet. And when I came back, Natasha, she looked at me and she said, "Is there another outlet over there by you?" And I said, I didn't look at her, but I said to her, well, I don't know, it's probably one underneath your chair. Now, mind you, she was sitting right here, and I got up, and the outlet is over there.
And I'm kind of legally blonde. You can't tell. I was like, oh my gosh, really? It's an outlet right beside me under my foot? Okay.
Yep. And so, as she stated, there was an outlet right underneath her. She laughed, she giggled, and then eventually that just kind of led into conversations. And as we were talking, we found out that we had so much in common, just with our family and ourselves. And so that's how we met.
So cute, so cute. Yay. All right, so now I guess you're going to keep talking, James. How did you get engaged?
Okay, so I'll give you my perspective. To make a long story short, I've been wanting to propose to her for about a week prior to actually doing it. And I try to do it in kind of subtle ways of not letting her know that I was going to actually do it. So I said, hey, do you want to, she's from South Carolina. I said, do you want to go back home? Because my idea was I could do it around her family, it'd be a big deal, they'd be so excited, she'd get a lot of love. And she said no. I said, okay. I said, hey, do you want to plan to go to New York City? Because that's where we met and all that and all that. And she says, not really. And so we had to scratch that. And then I said, well, I can kind of get to DC kind of quickly. It's only 4 hours from here, so we can do that, right? I said, do you want to go to DC this weekend? No, I don't. So I ran out of ideas. And so I said, well, I'm just not going to do it. I got the ring and everything. I can't hold on to the ring. I know she's going to find it, but I don't know what else to do. So that was a Friday, and then Saturday came, and I had no idea still. And then Sunday came, and we went to church that evening. It got kind of late. It was, I believe it was the day of the inauguration, Obama's inauguration. And she went to the bedroom to practice some of her music, because she's a classical singer. And I went into the living room, and I was watching football, right? As just most men do, right? So I watched a little football, and I was sitting there, and it was just weighing heavy on my heart. And I felt like the Lord was saying, do it, do it, do it. And I was saying back to the Lord, how? I tried, but I don't know how. And so as the game was going on, a commercial came on, a car commercial, and I said, that's it, that's what I'll do. So I just jumped up off the couch, and I said, Natasha, let's go, we have to go downtown.
I had on my Ugg boots, sweatpants, a sweatshirt, my hair was pulled up, and I actually wear glasses, so I had my glasses on, and no makeup on. I was just practicing at home, so you know, I said, okay, what is it? You know, like, where are we going? He's like,
yeah, so then I said, so, well, it's the inauguration. Pittsburgh's having fireworks downtown. He's having fireworks downtown. We have to go see it, And so that was my only way to know to get around at the house, because in my mind I said, maybe just, let's use Pittsburgh. Let's go to, I think it's with Mount Washington.
Yes.
And I said, let's do the Duquesne Incline. I don't think we ever been there. Have we been there prior, or maybe once?
no, we went to the opposite one prior. You know how there were two? Because we were so new, we didn't know that there were like three of them. So we ended up going to one that we had never been before. And I was really confused. I was like, where are we going, you know? And so we were driving and we get there. And I mean, I was in sweats and I was so excited, and you know, I wanted to see these fireworks. And so we finally get there and he's like, they start at 9 o'clock. And it was like 9:05, and then all of a sudden it's 9:20, and I'm like, where are the fireworks? And so we're just sitting there on the incline, and we just start talking. He's really good at talking. So he came up with some conversation about the Sheraton Hotel. We were talking about how we love the Sheraton Hotel, and somehow, I don't know why God didn't show it to me then, but he just started talking about, remember when we first went to the Sheraton, we said that would be a nice place to one day even get married, because you have the three rivers and, you know, you can see everything. And I said, yeah, that, you know, that would be nice. And that was my first time, the incline where you can see all of the rivers. So it was absolutely gorgeous, yeah. And so we're just standing there, and it's freezing cold, and yeah, I'm in my sweats and my hoodie coat, and he's behind me, and I said, yeah, I would love to one day, you know, get married at that Sheraton. It's so beautiful tonight, and where are the fireworks, James? And he said, we can make our own fireworks. And he taps me on my shoulder, because he's holding me from behind, and he taps me on my shoulder, and I said, oh, like, what do you mean we can make our own fireworks? I'm cold up here, I want to see some fireworks. But anyway, you know, and he said, you know, what comes before the wedding at the Sheraton? And I said, engagement? You know, like engagement. He said, exactly. And I turn around and he's on one knee. And he asks me to marry him. And this was my response. OMG, 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 OMG. I gotta call my mom, I gotta call my mom. And so I'm just pouring, crying. I couldn't believe it. And I had this beautiful ring. And it's so special to me. And this is one thing I would like to say to all of the brides is, you know, give the guy an opportunity. You don't necessarily have to pick out the ring, because sometimes he feels so comfortable, you know, being able to put himself into it. And so that was one of the special moments, is that James and I, we had looked at rings several times, but giving him the opportunity to be a part of it really made it special to me. And, you know, and maybe even if he wants to pick out the band or something, give him that opportunity. But yeah, that's how we became engaged.
Ooh, I love it. Great answers. Okay, so what made you try out for TLCs for weddings?
Okay, so, right, we're engaged now. And now it's all the talk about, go to the bridal shows, you know, everything's about the wedding, and let's go look at the flowers and this and that. And one of those days, she came to me and said, hey, you know what, let's go to another bridal show. I'm like, I don't know. And she says, well, it's at Heinz Field. I said, okay, we're going. So we went, and it just so happened, I believe it was Monty from Say Yes to the Dress, he was there. And we took a picture with him, and on the way out, he was like, when you guys get home, check the website, and so you can see your picture with me on there. And so we went home, and the next day, and we checked, and it wasn't on there. And so we kind of like, eventually kind of gave up from looking for the picture. But then one day I came home from work a little early, and I was sitting on the couch, and I put off the computer, and I said, well, I'm gonna give it one more try at trying to find this picture. And when I was doing it, this ad comes by, TLC 4 wedding casting in Pittsburgh. It just appeared. And I didn't want to bother her because I knew that she was still at work, and you know, I found out I looked and I seen the contact information. I sent the director just an email, just kind of telling our story and things of that nature. And then, the next day, the director replied back and said, fill out the application, complete the application, hurry up because I think it was, they're at the cutoff point, or it had just passed or something like that. So I did that, they got it in, and then next thing you know,
they contacted me for an interview. And because the application had all of these questions on it, you know, background, everything, your number, contact information, they contacted me, and the lady said, I'd like to do a Skype interview. So I set up at my job in Coriopolis at the time, and I did the Skype interview, and James kind of coached me on the phone right before he's like, make sure that there's internet access and you have, you know, the Skype pack just in case, or the Wi-Fi just in case, because if you lose the connection, then we might not get this and that. You know, so we were really excited because we knew that our story was such a blessing, and we wanted to share it with everyone. And so, you know, I went through the the interview process, and they said, okay, that was great, we'll be contacting you. 3 weeks later, they give me a call and said, you've made it into one of our final lineups. Well, this lineup would have made me attend the first wedding literally like 2 weeks after they had talked to me. And I said, oh my gosh, that's like 2 weeks from now. Like, what in the world? What do you mean I've made it? And I'm so excited, oh my gosh. And I call So I call my mom, and they're like, yeah, you know, this is the lineup that you're going to be in. Then they call me back like the next day, and they're like, no, I'm sorry, we're going to change the lineup, and it's going to be, you know, the first wedding's going to start June the 29th. And so I attended the first wedding, then I attended the second wedding. The first wedding was actually themed vintage weddings, and her name's Jamie. And then the second wedding was a the second wedding was a Christmas in July wedding. And then the third wedding was a Gothic wedding. And then it was our wedding. And then on the actual episode, it's totally different. Yeah, so they do a lot of editing and putting things in and out. So yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. We're all dying to know, are you still friends with those brides?
Yes, we are. And all three of them, well, two of them have had babies. The girl that did Christmas in July, she has twins. And then the girl that did the vintage wedding, she had a little boy, she was the first. And the Gothic girl, her name's Jasmine, she is pregnant right now. And so they're like, this is perfect because this came in the same order that our episode was in. We can't wait for you to tell us what you're going to be having, Natasha. And I'm like, no, not yet. So I have some time.
So you already answered the baby question.
Yeah.
All right, what was your favorite moment of your wedding on film that they captured?
My favorite moment was singing to James. And I was able to actually write an intro to the song At Last. And it was so awesome because I had the violinist, and then Rick, if any of you from Northway, he played the piano for my wedding. He's a great pianist. And he plays here at Turtles a lot too. And so, you know, it was absolutely phenomenal to just be able to sing to him on our wedding day. And the best part was that he was bawling, crying while I was walking down the house.
oh, Rick?
No, you.
My favorite moment that they showed on film was actually the moment that I seen in person, and that was just right at the beginning, right before she started to walk down. It just seemed like everything had stopped. And maybe if I was crying, that's when the tears started again. Maybe.
Watch the episode.
But that was, I would say, my favorite.
And then we had a surprise moment that happened on film, and it worked out really fine. Our officiant, and this is going to be something that we're going to tell the brides and the grooms later on, our officiant actually thought the wedding started at 3 p.m. And so he didn't show up, and we had to start on time because we didn't want this captured on television, you know, but the wedding started at 1. Both of our parents are pastors. My mother stepped up to the plate and said, you know what, we got to do this. And she mirrored us. And it was absolutely beautiful. And I mean, I was in panic mode, and James was running around like, what do you mean that's officiant's on here? What is this? And this is like, you know, it could have been on film, and it could have been so embarrassing, but we're just so blessed that it wasn't. But at the same time, we're blessed that my mom was able to marry us, and his dad was able to give scriptures and, you know, readings during our ceremony, and so it really worked out, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Great testimony. That's nice that it all came together. God does work that way. Okay, now, for the secret details, what's your favorite off-film moment?
My favorite off-film moment would definitely be preparing for the wedding and like doing all of the little details, knowing that it's going to be televised. It was a lot of like pressure, and at the same time, it was so awesome because I really paid attention to what is the most important day right now of my life, marrying the love of my life. So I was able to give attention to those little details, and knowing that I still had a budget, and that's very important, brides and grooms. Knowing that I still had a budget, you know, I worked very closely with my vendors and let them know, you know, this is an awesome opportunity for us collectively. And, you know, I really hope that I can enhance your portfolio and, you know, we can work together and make something beautiful. And so that was my favorite, you know, time off film, working closely with all of the vendors.
Excellent. How about you, James?
Actually, what was most meaningful to me was how well she was being treated by their staff, and kind of the door-to-door service they were giving her. You know, just coming from my perspective, you know, I only want the best for my wife, and I only hope that the best can happen for her. And just the experience of them, you know, showing up, opening her door, kind of doing the things that I tried to continue to do, you know, and get better at. And they were doing that, and how excited she was to get in the car and call me and tell me how nice the car was, and kind of all these different things like that. And that really made me feel good, kind of sitting on the sideline during those moments.
And really quick, we had Starbucks come and they provided the little frappuccinos for our wedding. We didn't have any alcohol, but they couldn't, for, you know, security reasons and things like that, they couldn't show that it was Starbucks. So that was very meaningful to both of us to have Starbucks come and do the frappuccinos for our wedding.
So it sounds like we learned that vendors, you need to have a great rapport with them, and it's all in the details, because that was how you guys met at Starbucks. So down to the little cups there, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a nice tying it all together.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure everyone's dying to know, at least us girls, about the dress.
Yes, my dress, it's so awesome because my mom, at first I was telling her, I want to pick out my own dress. I don't want your opinion. I don't want you to tell me anything. I know what you like and I know what I like, and that's just that. Well, little did I know that God had another plan. My mom's all the way in South Carolina and I'm here in Pittsburgh. She had a business meeting in Cleveland and she said, Natasha, I found this vintage wedding dress and it is absolutely gorgeous. It has a cathedral train and it's laced and, you know, it's beaded, and it was $20. And I said, are you serious? And I was like, okay, Mom, you know, whatever, you know. I'm going to try on dresses at, you know, David's Bridal and Carissa's and all these places, but she came from Cleveland and she brought the dress with her. And I was at Embassy Suites meeting with the director there, and I tried on the dress and I fell in love with it. However, I did not want the complete vintage look. So I said, I need to find a seamstress who can redo the dress to my liking. And her name is Eva Dixon. She does I Do Bridal Designs here in Warrendale. And she was able to do a sweetheart neckline for me, put in a lot of the like crystal rhinestones for me. It was already, you know, nicely embroidered, which you will pay a ton of money for nowadays. So it was absolutely gorgeous and had a lot of pearl beading and fine details, and then the satin. And it was straight down, and I wanted mermaid, so she added a mermaid skirt, which was detachable. That was something I don't think they should have known either, is that I changed. I made a wardrobe change, and it was detachable, so I had me like a cocktail length dress for my reception. And then, you know, the same thing. The train was absolutely gorgeous. We were able to keep the sleeve and the neck piece, and then I had a cathedral veil, so it was gorgeous. I loved it, and I still have it in my closet. I will not get it preserved yet because I try it on like literally every month. So that's it.
And I went to Men's Warehouse.
Well, you know,
We should have known you, okay?
sometimes, you know, that's the way things go. So, all right. Well, did you win?
1, 2, hey, check 1, 2.
We came in 4th place. I don't know if you want to get a label as winners or
You won in
losers.
your own eyes. You won in your family's eyes.
Right. But we came in 4th place, and we were, you know, eventually we became accepting of that, and but that's all we have to say on that. Unless
And when we didn't win, you know, it was very, you know, sad, but at the same time, we were excited because my family's from the South. They really all couldn't afford to be here for my wedding. So to see it on television, it meant a lot to them, especially my grandmother who could not get on an airplane for health reasons. So it was a blessing in disguise, just that it could be on television, be televised, and just so exciting for all of our family. And yeah, do you have
One last quick question. Do you have, each of you real quick, a bit of advice that you can give to these couples to help them on their way?
Yes. Even though we didn't win, what the winner did win was a honeymoon. And she won a honeymoon to Hawaii. We had no idea that she won a honeymoon to Hawaii. My husband, when he found out that we did not win, he went and booked a honeymoon to Hawaii, not knowing that they had won a honeymoon to Hawaii. And when I got home from all of the filming that entire day and so sad and crying and bawling, he took me to Red Lobster and then gave me the tickets and a card, and I was bawling because I was like, oh my gosh, and I opened it up because he actually booked it through AAA, and I saw AAA at the top and I said, you got me AAA? And I was so excited at the same time because, you know, he's like, no, Natasha, keep reading. And it's on YouTube, but yeah, it was wonderful. So we got to go on the honeymoon that we would have won anyway, and that was just amazing how God worked in that.
it just for another pointer, I would say, you know, for the both of you to create a budget, okay, stick to the budget, and then blame the budget. And not each other. Don't blame the other person. Blame the budget. So that way it'll help, you know, stick within, you know, your means, whatever that is for you both, and you don't kind of regret nothing when it's all over. And that's what we did. We have no regrets. We're proud to say that we are wedding debt free.
Woo!
I love hearing that. Yeah,
So
that's great.
it's possible.
And it was funded like 90%, just the two of us. And honestly, we really tried to rush and have our wedding before our grandmother actually passed that June, the day that I started filming for TLC 4 Weddings. The same day that I started filming, his grandmother passed, but we were rushing so that we could get married so she could attend. And so, you know, we didn't plan on, you know, having all this money saved for the wedding or anything and getting our parents to chip in or anything. We just wanted people to be a part of it that meant something to us. And so, you know, just having that budget and still being able to fund it yourselves, it means a lot to you too. You know, if you can put a lot into it, and your parents as well, because they want you to be Cinderella and, you know, Prince Charming that day as well. Another thing, yes, have your honeymoon because it's going to be so memorable and things are going to go by so quick that one day, but what lasts forever is your love, the love that you have for each other, the love that you have for God, the love that you have for your family. And so make sure you put those things first because that's what lasts a lifetime. Okay, it says this magic moment, make those moments memorable.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Natasha and James, for coming. It was excellent.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Tonya.
Yes. Actually, Lisa and Michelle have a surprise for you.
A surprise
You
for
about to
me.
sing for me, Michelle?
No.
Can we get you to sing?
No, she's not for singer. I don't have it in my hand right now, but
Okay.
we're giving away a trip for a hotel stay. We're also giving one. So thank you so much for coming, guys. We appreciate it. We love you, and I think your story is amazing. Thanks.
So thank you guys. Keep enjoy visiting with the vendors, and we thank you from this magic moment.
Really quick. One of the, is there a couple in here that is getting married like within the next 6 months? Next 6 months? Okay. What's your wedding date? March 14th? here are 2 tickets for you guys to go on a date. I really recommend that you make these magic moments. Make them memorable. Always take her out on a date. Always take him out on a date. Okay, so this is the new North Hills Cinemark grand opening. Free movie tickets, free drinks, good time. So enjoy.
Brian, you want to come up and get those? Congratulations. Okay, well, thank you again, and we're going to get back to mingling.
Yes, be sure to fill out your prize tickets. We'll be doing them right at 8 o'clock on the dot.
Here you are.